All right, let's welcome in the Powerhouse panel for more. We've got former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist Amy Tarkanian. Political analyst Mark Halperin is here, and National Advisory Board member for Project 21. Christopher Arps is here as well. Good morning to all. Happy Friday to you. I wanted to get we haven't talked much about the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo. 3 days now, he has not resigned. It looks like impeachment could happen. It's up to the state assembly. Rudy Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City, America's mayor. Of course, he led the city through the 9/11. In that time period, he had a different take on the situation with the governor. Mark, to you first, but he says that Andrew Cuomo has not been afforded due process. He says that Letitia James offered him only trial by press conference. What do you make of that?
Governor who?
Exactly.
I thought that two dominant things, not seemingly intention, but really not. One is I thought Andrew Cuomo's performance in his video and his continued silence shows extraordinary disrespect, not just for the people whose actions, who were hurt by his actions, but for the process. I think he's already basically been convicted by his own conduct. But at the same time, I think it's true that some of what's in the Attorney General's report is not proof, even though she casts it as proof. She takes the word of others over Governor Cuomo's words in almost every instance, and I think that's probably what Mayor Giuliani is referring to. But that doesn't gloss over. It shouldn't gloss over the fact that there's a lot in the report that is clearly true and very damning.
Yeah, I would agree. I guess, Amy, my question now is, Joe Biden called for him to resign. He was asked by a reporter, should the governor of New York resign? He said yes. So what does it mean if the governor doesn't resign? How does the administration pivot and respond to that?
Well, we have already been witnessing this. I mean, everyone thought that he was going to resign just dealing with the COVID situation and the fact that he put thousands of lives in jeopardy by putting in COVID positive patients into assisted living homes. And that didn't happen. The guy was indestructible and just kept moving forward like nothing had ever gone wrong.
Yeah.
And the arrogance of this man is atrocious. And the fact that he is constantly being saved by the left-wing media is also very troubling, because I think now that this I don't want to call it evidence, but these allegations are they're not few, they're far and wide, and they're pretty damning.
Mark,
I think that he needs to resign.
Yeah.
I agreed with 80% of what Amy said. Usually I'm closer to 100. The one thing is he started out by saying everybody thought he was going to resign. No one I know who knows Andrew Cuomo thought he was going to resign before. Nobody I know thinks he's going to resign now.
Chris,
this is his life.
We have the sound. Chris Arps said, I think he'll be impeached. Chris, you said that a while ago here on the show. You said resignation is not something I think he'll do. My question, why is he still leading the governor's call on COVID response? He still is leading this phone call.
I think part of that, I didn't know that until you told me that.
Yeah.
And since, those governor calls aren't really high profile anymore, somebody just dropped the ball and is still having him conducting them. But that's a terrible PR move. I didn't know that.
15,000 died in nursing homes because of an executive order that he signed March 2020, and he's still leading the call on how we should respond. That would scare the heck out of me. I mean, that's pretty frightening. I wanted to play you this. This is some of, by the way, there are calls for his brother Chris to be fired from CNN. And I do not support that. I don't think that anybody should lose. I'm not for anybody losing their job, especially after what we're coming off of. I do think there is a massive conflict of interest, and I just think it's been funny to watch Chris's show each night. He's not covering the biggest story in America. They should just come out and say, Chris Cuomo, guess what? He's an opinion host. All right? He is an opinion host. He's Tucker Carlson, but he's on CNN, because you can't not cover the biggest story in America and claim to be a news anchor, a man of journalistic integrity. Mark, quick thought on that?
I think the whole way CNN has handled this has been unethical and not transparent, and it's not too late ever to do the right thing. They should understand what the right thing is, both as human beings and as a news organization.
Okay, Meghan McCain has decided to defend Ron DeSantis because the administration continues to attack Ron DeSantis. Now, COVID numbers are up in Florida. Texas is leading the country right now. Florida's number 2 in new cases, just people that are getting coronavirus. Take a listen to what Meghan McCain, the former presidential nominee and senator's daughter, had to say.
people can place blame on people like Ron DeSantis and, Asa Hutchinson and whomever else, but the buck does stop with the president and the president in charge. And the narrative that, he's only been here for 8 months, American public doesn't care. They don't care. They look to our leaders. The buck stops with the president. And if I were a Democrat, I'd be concerned about why these numbers are going down with the approval rating. And in regards to Ron DeSantis, I mean, he's such a target for the left right now. Everybody should keep attacking him because it's just making him more powerful and more likely to be the nominee for president.
Amy, to you, do you agree? Because I see the more that they are calling out Ron DeSantis, the more obvious it is what they're doing. They're scared of this guy in 2024. Do you think it's having the opposite effect, like Amy said? Or Megan said, sorry?
Yes, and I'm going to go back to one of my scientific Twitter polls I just did yesterday, actually revisiting who would you vote for the Republican nominee? Would it be President Trump today or Governor DeSantis? And it's interesting because I did a similar poll a few months ago, and it was almost neck and neck. This time, with over 12,000 people participating, it was 64% to 36% Ron DeSantis. So I found that to be very interesting. Yes. And as I mentioned, I'm sitting here in the business center in Florida in a hotel.
Right.
And I've been talking to people here in Florida, and they are very happy with the fact that they have been given a choice. A number of these people have chosen to be vaccinated, but they are happy to be back at work with the choice of wearing a mask.
Right.
There are tourists that are happy to make that choice. Are they going to wear a mask?
Kids won't be wearing masks in schools unless they want to. They have the choice.
Correct.
That sounds very American to me.
Yes, and one of my best friends lives here, and that's why I'm visiting. And her son will be wearing a mask when he goes to school because they also live with her elderly parents. But that's their choice.
Yeah, that's very American. Panel, we'll pick this back up Monday morning. I'm curious what you think of the Olympic closing ceremonies, which happened on Sunday, our very first iteration of the woke Olympics. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. All right, Mark, I thought you were doing No Tie Friday. I thought we were going to start making that a thing next Friday.
I'm meeting with my accountant right after the program.
Talk with them. Christopher Arps in St. Louis, Amy Tarkanian in Florida at the business center of a hotel. Good to see you all. Have a great weekend, guys. See you again next week.
Have a great weekend, everybody.